This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the renovation of Dunedin's former prison has received a funding boost towards stage 2 of its refurbishment project. A grieving Dunedin man wants Pharmac to fund life-saving cancer drugs as they promised in memory of his late wife. And after flying seriously ill children to Starship Hospital, Dunedin man Tony McComb is keen to give something back. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. The renovation of Dunedin's former prison has received a funding boost towards stage 2 of its refurbishment project. The donation is set to go towards re-roofing and repainting the cell blocks of the 124-year-old building.
Getting a tour of Dunedin's former jail, where the Dunedin Prison Charitable Trust have already completed the first stage of renovations. Trust Chairman Owen Graham says further renovation plans have now received an added funding boost.
The Dunedin Heritage Fund $100,000 donation is a real big boost to us because we have a $660,000 project that we've costed.
This is the second stage of a massive restoration project of the historic building, which has a slate roof in dire need of repair, with chunks of slate starting to come off.
The funding is going to go toward not just the roof but also completing our exterior repairs and refurbishment of the building on the 3 cell blocks that remain.
Graham says they're hoping for similar success in getting funding as they did with the first stage of renovating the old jail.
Our stage 1 project, it was costed at $550,000. We undertook that between 2015 and early 2017. And Lotteries Grants Board came to the party there with $250,000. So we'd like to see that same number if it's possible, and we're going to be a long way on the road to this project kicking off.
The Dunedin Prison Charitable Trust is hoping once they've completed restoration of the jail, entrepreneurs will be able to make use of the historic building for such things as tourist accommodation. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Flights into space could be taking off from Oamaru Airport as early as this year. Christchurch-based space launch company Dawn Aerospace now has permission to begin test launches of its unmanned rocket-propelled spaceplane. As shown in this video simulation, the plane would take off from Oamaru Airport and reach heights of up to 100 kilometres above the Earth. Dawn Aerospace says its intention is to have a system vastly different from rockets, completely changing the economics of space flight. The aim is for the craft to do the normal work of rockets, including taking satellites into space up to twice a day. The plane is currently being tested on the ground, and test flights could be taking off later this year. Mark Wellington cherished the final years he spent with his wife after she was diagnosed with blood cancer. Now he wants Pharmac to make good on its promise to fund other life-saving cancer drugs.
Dunedin woman Jocelyn Wellington passed away last month, aged 69, 4 years after being diagnosed with the blood cancer, multiple myeloma. Her husband, Mark Wellington, says at the time of his wife's treatment, the cancer-fighting drug lenalidomide was only made available by Pharmac on compassionate grounds near the end of a patient's life, as opposed to being available for ongoing treatment.
What wasn't available at the time was lenalidomide to be used as far as maintenance goes, which is ongoing treatment they can get after they have the main course.
Now he wants Pharmac to make good on its promise to fund others the drugs which extended his wife's life, because Mark says the price tag of the drug lenalidomide was exorbitant and out of reach for many people.
Yeah, it's costing between $10,000 and $12,500 a month, and people just can't afford that.
He says he's hopeful another drug called bortezomib will also be increased in availability by Pharmac, as it would have helped in the ongoing maintenance of his wife's cancer.
In our particular instance, that would have been marvellous to have, but we could not obtain that particular drug.
Pharmac is considering to start expanding the funding for lenalidomide from this April, with the organisation Myeloma New Zealand also pushing for the funding of new drugs. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Armed police were called to the Brighton Caravan Park in a search for a stolen vehicle earlier today. A police spokeswoman says armed officers and dog units were called to the park at 11 a.m. to make inquiries about a stolen vehicle. She says officers were armed as a precaution. Police inquiries are ongoing. After flying seriously ill children to Starship Hospital, Dunedin man Tony McComb wanted to give something back. And yesterday he did just that, launching a program called Uplift in Kind, which is set to lift the spirits of less fortunate children.
Being the wind beneath their wings. Launching Uplift in Kind, Tony McComb is aiming to give children an experience they don't typically get.
So Uplift in Kind is a program that we're putting together with people around, well, pilots and operators around the country, where we can take unwell or underprivileged children for a ride in an aeroplane over their hometown, basically.
He says seeing hardship while flying patients to Starship Hospital has motivated him. And the project is just getting off the ground in Dunedin, but he's hopeful pilots across the country will get on board.
My company are going to sponsor this program initially, and we'll just see how that tracks, and then from there I would like to put together a network of pilots being from the industry.
He's working with a variety of child support agencies and hopes to get as many Kiwi kids involved as possible. Make-A-Wish are one of the organisations on board, and suggested 8-year-old Isaac, who was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2018, but will be 2 years in remission this April.
These guys are going to go and take them, hopefully fly over their home, and then take them up the Otago Harbour, and then down the east coast, take them for a nice fly over Dunedin City.
The youngster was pretty excited to be going up on the flight with his brother and father. Isaac's mother, Tamsin Park, says her family was pleasantly shocked by the generosity of people. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today. Age proves no barrier for a young at heart upstart receiving a trespass notice for activism. And a fantasy game from the 1970s is back in vogue again, so see you after the break.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Welcome back. A Dunedin grandmother issued a trespass notice by oil giant OMV, says she has no plans to give up her fight. Oil Free Otago spokeswoman Rosemary Penwarden was among 5 activists confirmed yesterday to have received trespass notices from OMV. Penwarden says hers arrived completely out of the blue on Wednesday evening when a black car pulled up her drive and she was handed a notice. The notice banned her from entering 19 sites related to OMV around New Zealand, but not any Dunedin sites. The sky could be the limit for a fantasy role-playing game created in the 1970s. These school holidays, a local dungeon master is sharing his Dungeons & Dragons experience points with some younger fighting fantasy fans.
Life and death at the roll of a dice. These days, it's uncommon to see groups of people hunched over paper and pen, but Dungeon Master Tim Plaisted says it's one of the things which drew him to the game about 5 years ago.
There's something about sitting down around a table with a whole bunch of mates, just talking trash and eating snacks while you scribble on pieces of paper and roll dice. It's pretty basic, it's pretty cool.
It's more than 40 years since Americans Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson first published the tabletop fantasy role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons in 1974. Plaisted is sharing his love of the role-playing game with a group of aspiring youngsters over the summer holidays in the teen space at the Dunedin Public Library.
At the moment we're running over how to make a character, so it's quite intense for newbies, lots of rules and dice and numbers and lots of trying to figure out what you want to be.
He says although these teens could typically be absorbed in their digital devices, this group are all adapting well to using pencils and paper. And Plaisted says younger people can seem more at ease role-playing as any type of character.
Like people are a lot more accepting of everything, and then playing D&D or something like D&D, you get to choose your identity in a whole new world. You can be a different race, and people won't bat an eyelid.
Plaisted says the game itself is adapting digital technology, with groups playing across town or even across the world via live streams.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of podcasts and YouTube channels where people just play D&D. Like a big group of people get around a table with a camera on it and just play D&D online. People watch them. It's pretty cool. It's quite nerdy. It's pretty cool. It's very nerdy.
He says the sky could be the limit with 5th generation or 5G technology. Maybe science fiction could become science fact.
So something like the Harry Potter chess, where you control the characters and the players move around, and across between maybe like Star Wars, the game on with Han Solo and the Falcon, where they all smash each other with clubs and shit. So got to stop soon. But yeah.
He says the University of Otago has a Dungeons & Dragons club, and he also enjoys playing with groups of friends. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, another Dunedin City car park closes for 2 months, placing more pressure on limited CBD parking. And we have the weekend's weather for you, so see you after the break.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions. When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Welcome back. A Dunedin car park will have less space for vehicles when it is upgraded later this year. The Gravel St Andrew Street car park is now expected to be closed for 2 months around the middle of the year to allow cycleway extension work and a car park upgrade to be carried out. Once completed, the new car park design will have space for 225 angled parks. Last year, the ODT estimated total capacity close to 300 vehicles. However, the council was looking at switching parallel parks on nearby streets to angle parking, creating about 70 additional on-street parking spaces. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The renovation of Dunedin's former prison has received a funding boost towards stage 2 of its refurbishment project, pleasing those behind the project. Mark Wellington cherished the final years he spent with his wife after she was diagnosed with blood cancer and wants Pharmac to fund the drugs which extended her life. And after flying sick children to Starship Hospital, Dunedin man Tony McComb is giving something back with his Uplift in Kind charity. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Hayden Meikle. What have you got for us tomorrow?
Hi Mel, how are you? Well, here's a question. How do you get Hayden Meikle excited? You talk about the space age coming to Oamaru. That's how you get Hayden Meikle excited.
Yeah,
this
you
is
had
a great
me at
story.
Rocket.
this is a phenomenal story. So Christchurch company Dawn Aerospace has received permission, signed an understanding with the Waitaki District Council to begin some test launches of its sort of rocket, its unmanned rocket into space from Oamaru. Quite extraordinary, I think up to 100 kilometres into space. I'm eagerly awaiting the full story to find out more about this. I think it's something that's going to really capture the interest of a whole lot of people, and it's very, very exciting to think of the little steampunk capital of the world perhaps becoming the space capital of New Zealand. So
that would definitely be something.
Can't wait. And here we go, Baldwin Street. The news is in, the report is in, it looks good. Toby Stoff, who's obviously led the campaign to win back the title of steepest street in the world, he says it's proof, it's fact, it's the steepest. He sent his report off to Guinness World Records. And now we wait, I guess, to see if Guinness accepts it, and maybe we can leave those signs up for a while longer. Here's hoping.
It should be good.
Roading. A couple of big roading stories tomorrow. The DCC has looking at signing a big new 10-year contract for its roading tender. And Chris Morris has done a feature on the road calming, is the word. And these are extra speed bumps and streets and different coloured...
those extra yellow spike things?
Different coloured crossings and all those sorts of things. Created a bit of a few letters to the editor this summer, but he's got a feature looking at why people believe it's actually a good thing to calm drivers around the place, so that'll be interesting. And a bit of sport, so a good bit of cricket. Adrian Cicconi's done a piece looking at the clubs versus schools divide in cricket. And the Mighty Targa Volts are in their Elimination 2020 final as we speak. So Adrian is at that game, and he will have the full report of, fingers crossed, the Volts winning and into the final. So all that, much more. There is something for everybody in tomorrow's paper.
Oh, thank you. Go the Volts. And now it's time for a look at the weekend's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view, a rainbow-covered shopfront in central Dunedin. Looking at the situation, a mild northerly airflow develops tomorrow ahead of a weakening cold front. This front decays as it passes by southern districts on Sunday, with more fine weather due next week. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island. Greymouth and Westport are set for maybe a cloud or two with a decent high of 21 degrees. Across to the northeast, break out the sunscreen and plan for clear skies over Nelson and Blenheim, where you can both expect 23 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, you'll have some cloudy skies across this area. Kaikoura and Christchurch head for 19, while it should reach 23 degrees in Ashburton, where you'll have bright blue skies. To the southern towns, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore are due for moderate northerlies and high cloud. The Catlins, Lumsden and Gore head for 20, while Balclutha should hit 21. Heading to central Otago, where summer temperatures continue for many, but there's a 10-degree spread of temperatures across this area. Wanaka heads for 28, Alexandra should reach 27, Queenstown you're aiming for 25, and it's the end of the golden weather for Te Anau as you're set for 18 degrees and showers. The heat continues inland for the northern towns. Timaru and Oamaru, you should plan for moderate northeasterlies and cloudy skies. Timaru hits 21 and Oamaru 20 degrees. Twizel and Amarama, you're due for light northerlies, some high cloud and a sizzling 29 degrees. In Dunedin, mostly fine tonight, looking at an overnight low of 11. Tomorrow, fine with sunny periods and some cloud, and moderate northeasterlies, a high of 19 and a low of 12. And skies often cloudy on Sunday with light winds, tending southerly with a high of 18 and a low of 13 degrees. And in Invercargill, clouded, increasing tonight with an overnight low of 11 degrees. Tomorrow is mostly fine with high cloud increasing and lowering with moderate northwesterly winds, a high of 20 and a low of 13. Some light rain tomorrow night, early showers clearing on Sunday with sunny periods increasing through the afternoon, and cool light southwesterly winds, a high of 18 and a low of 12. That's all from the South Today team for this Friday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening and a wonderful weekend. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.